because I was eating, drinking, this, that, whatever. Like I would just do anything. Drive fast, drive slow. Like I had so much chaos as the wreckage of my relationships because I was just trying to alleviate the pain.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of UnCoupling. Today we have Josh Nasar. It's pronounced Nasar, correct?
You pronounced it perfectly.
It's like NASA with an R.
I gotta be honest, I don't really know how it's pronounced. I don't know if it's NASA. I don't know.
You're winging it. It works.
I have no idea. It's NASA, the space program with an R. That's how I tell people to spell it.
Space program with an R.
That's it.
Josh Nasar, space program with an R. Welcome to the program. He is a TV host. He's a social media personality. He's a stand-up comedian. There's basically nothing he doesn't do. He has East Coast sensibilities with his West Coast kindness. Welcome to UnCoupling.
Thank you for having me.
On social media, he has 4.5 billion views, and that is with 8 million followers cross-sectionally. I absolutely love his content on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I think there's also Facebook in there.
Yeah, Facebook's over 2 million followers now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into why that is, the content that he brings to the table, which is hilarious and heartwarming all at the same time. And we're also going to discuss some breakups. So, Josh, you are currently in a relationship?
Yes, I'm currently in a relationship.
How long?
1 year, 1 month, and 1 day. 2 days.
Oh, we almost had the 111 anniversary.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a comedian's curse. Is like the one. Oh, it's 112.
No,
It's not 111.
This girl's great.
Where did you meet her?
She was actually bartending, and I remember watching her. She was talking to somebody else, and the first thing I thought is, wow, this woman's smart. That was it. Like
a smart bartender.
The way,
or just smart.
She's smart. She also does the groundlings, which is an improv thing.
Well, of course she's smart if she does groundlings.
And I got to like level, let's say 3, and she's already at level 5. Like I couldn't like.
And you didn't know she did groundlings before.
I didn't know anything. I just
her.
literally was like, my brain just went, wow, this woman is smart, and I love that because I'm lazy, and that way I don't have to do everything.
And I also just, a weird flex for me is I was a server for 6 years, but I never went to bartending school or barista school. And I feel like, can she make one of those amazing mixologist cocktails?
She does all of it. She literally does all of it.
While telling jokes.
Yeah, she
should serve you drinks in different characters.
You know what's crazy? Neither of us really drink.
Well, there you go, mocktail.
Yeah, neither of us. We just like fattening food. That's it.
I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate. So what led you into this relationship? Did you know you were looking for a relationship, or did this happen upon you and you're one of those dudes that's like, hey, I'm not ready, but I'm going to be ready because this is the girl for me?
A little bit of both of that, actually, because I didn't know what ready was until I met this woman. Like, I truly feel like, as I sit here right now, that this is probably the woman that I should be with, that I want to be with. Like, she's just great. Like, literally, do you have any problems with her? Yeah, not really. Like, no, there's things that we both want to work on. Like, yeah. I'm better at certain things. She's better at a lot of things than I am. But I just literally went out with her, and then we got along. And again, I was like, wow, this woman is smart. She's so well read. Like, she says stuff, and I'm like, yeah. And I have no idea
what that mean?
I don't know anything. I literally go, I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, did you pull one of your lines that you do in your professional life of approaching strangers and basically, I won't take the words out of your mouth, the DAD joke?
Oh, the dad jokes.
Yeah, the dad jokes.
No, what happened was I'm pretty good at stand-up. Like, I'm proud of myself. I work hard at it. So she had saw me do stand-up, and she was like, oh, this guy's very, very funny. I didn't know that she saw me do stand-up.
So she had seen you when you walked up to her, she recognized you?
No, she'd seen me do stand-up after, I think.
Okay.
So I was talking to her, so I don't know if there was a mutual level of respect. Like, it was serious to me. Like, everybody else is at the bar drinking. I'm sitting there going over my comedy. Like, it's a business for me.
Right.
It's not like I'm not there hooking up and all that. Like, I was just there to do my work. And then we started talking, so I had a respect for her right away because how smart she was.
It was at a comedy club.
It was at a comedy club. She was literally bartending at the comedy club, forgive me. And then she had seen me do stand-up. She's like, oh, this guy's serious about his craft. Like, it's not some, because I'm sure she's
That's the best lead-in you could ask for, is like when you're like naturally just doing your thing and crushing it, and then she sees it. That's the best pickup line you could really ask for.
I think so. So I didn't have to do any dad jokes.
Wow. Okay. This is like a comedy fairy tale made in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
I love it. Is this the first comedian you've ever dated?
No, I've dated a stand-up comedian before. She's not a
She's
stand-up.
not a stand-up comedian, but she's in comedy.
It's totally different.
Right, right.
Stand-up comedians, we're horrible. We have hatred in our hearts. We're bad human beings. If you ever want to date a stand-up comedian, don't. Literally never. We're insane. We're horrible people. We're literally murderers. We're horrible.
But then you get to laugh while dying.
Yes. So she's much kinder than I am.
Okay, so she's in the comedy world, which warms my heart that you guys get to make each other laugh.
Yes, she makes me laugh ridiculously.
But had you dated a comedian before?
Yeah, but I dated more of a stand-up comic. And,
right.
She's...
The darkness.
Yeah, she's more of a writer. She's like Tina Fey.
Yeah.
That kind of... Tina Fey?
Mean Girls, I know. A little bit of Liz Lemon. 30 Rock's my favorite show. So what would you say your biggest breakup lesson is? Is it from the comedian that you dated, the stand-up comedian that you dated, or would you say... how do you feel on the topic of breakups? Like, you're my first male and it's like late 30s, early 40s.
As far as you know, I get Botox. Go on.
Exactly. I love getting different perspectives about, we call this uncoupling, because basically in society, we will see someone on someone's social media grid and all of a sudden they disappear, or traditionally in history, it's just this vulnerable topic no one wants to talk about. And coming from a comedian, coming from a male perspective, in your demographic, what has been your history with breakups that has now led you to this very healthy spot in your life where you can have this person that you love so much? Would you say it's any comedians' breakup stories, or what would you say your biggest takeaway was with your biggest breakup?
I think that for me, my breakup history has nothing to do with those people.
Okay.
It's all to do with me. I was severely mentally injured, whatever, from my childhood, that I had to go to 12-step for codependence. I went to Codependence Anonymous. I was going to therapy. Is that
different than Al-Anon? That is different than Al-Anon.
Yeah. Al-Anon is adult children of alcoholics. Mine is for just codependence.
Yeah.
And I also went to therapy, extensive therapy, for
That's great. When did you get
all
into
about
therapy?
Relationships. What
age did you get into therapy?
I started going to therapy when I was 23.
That means you're going to be a really successful comedian.
And I had no money at all whatsoever.
Wow.
And I went to a place called Sliding Scale, where they literally said, how much money do you make? And I was like, I'm not making anything. They go, okay, $10 a session.
You have to put this into your stand-up.
Yeah, no, it's in there.
It's in there. Okay,
yeah,
great,
no,
great.
I was all messed up.
Sliding Scale. This is before BetterHelp, guys, before there were apps.
They still have Sliding Scale.
They still have Sliding Scale.
Yeah, if you need therapy and somebody needs their hours to become on their own, you call up a place and they'll either refer you or they have it themselves, where literally you can say, I don't have any money, I need help.
Yeah.
And BetterHelp, I think, also has that too.
So not Al-Anon, but is it SLAW, or is that a different?
Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous.
It is. So is SLAW Codependence Anonymous?
Yes, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous and Codependence Anonymous. So first of all, from my understanding, all 12-step programs are from a lack of love. So I don't feel good. I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to this. I'm going to sugar. I'm going to food. Well, once you get rid of all of those, a lot of people from those programs go to Codependence Anonymous or SLA.
Right.
Because you've gotten rid of the substance, and now you're dealing with the issue of why you did all that anyway. Mm-hmm. So my best understanding of Codependence Anonymous for me was I didn't have healthy boundaries, and when it comes to relationship, whether it was my boundaries towards somebody else or them towards me. So let's say I'm dating somebody and they're always late, and they're standing me up all the time, and they're not truthful. Maybe I would stay with them. Why? Because I have attachment disorder issues. So Codependence Anonymous, one of the things is it teaches you how to have a healthy boundary. How do you set a boundary with somebody? How do you live with the dis-ease and the discomfort of setting that boundary? And also, if they don't adhere to that, actually walking away and leaving. So it's how to have healthy boundaries in a relationship. We were talking before about paying. You would learn actually what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, and also being able to leave a situation once again if it's not healthy for you.
And when did you enter Codependence Anonymous?
I was, I believe I was 25 when I entered, and then I went for a while, and then I stopped, and I went for a while. But I was raised by someone who was legally insane. So I was raised in insanity. I mean, the stories I tell you, be like, damn, really? Like my stepdad, from my recollection, he wouldn't talk to me for months at a time if I didn't put the milk away.
Jeez.
So now I'm just sitting in a house like,
You should know.
That dead air.
Yeah.
I was running for that my whole life. I didn't want to feel that dead air.
But you should know you are the best byproduct coming from that kind of environment, that you share your pain with people as a comedian. You got into therapy at 23.
Yeah.
At 25, you're in Codependence Anonymous. One thing I love about living in Los Angeles, a lot of people don't say a lot of great things about Los Angeles aside from the weather's nice. But one of the things I love about Los Angeles is TSA is awesome. You get through LAX so fast. But more on topic.
Do you have clear?
I have clear and I have pre-TSA.
Sorry, go ahead.
But curb to gate, guys, it's like 10 minutes. They have a lot.
That's amazing.
Other TSAs could learn from LAX's TSA. But secondly, more important, aside from good weather and good TSA, is that self-help is so accepted here. Everybody's in a 12-step, and that can be a joke. It should be a joke, but it's also incredibly inspiring that there's a group of people that have unsolved issues, as everyone does, but they just wear them a little bit closer to the surface here. And the fact that you were in your early 20s as a comedian, getting into, in my opinion, being a comedian is an outlet of self-help, but getting into those other aspects of self-help, you couldn't have turned out better.
Yeah, but it took 25, 30 years of that. I mean, it's like it takes a long time to
Once you're
undo
in
the
those
wiring.
supportive groups.
To undo the wire, for me, it took a long time to undo the wiring. Like I feel like just like now, like, oh, I'm like kind of like a normal person now. But no, I mean, I feel bad for the people I've dated. I was a lunatic. I had no idea. I was a monster. I was crazy. I didn't have any idea.
And what gave you the foresight to get into therapy at that age? At such a young age of 23.
I just was in so much pain. I had such separation anxiety. And that's why I was saying it had nothing to do with the women I was dating.
It was the
Anytime a
codependency.
woman broke up with me or I broke up with a woman, it was the worst thing ever. And then after the fifth one, I go, hold on. It's not them. It's me.
Okay.
You know, it's me. So it really triggered all kinds of childhood abandonment issues. And the fact of being alone or being in pain, I was just trying to get away from it.
That's amazing, though, that you realized it at such a young age to connect mental health, happiness, no stigmas against that at that time. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I think it's changed with Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't know if I had that wherewithal to actually realize I just was in pain. I was just an amoeba.
So when you got into therapy, you're starting to realize, okay, codependency, I have to build up happiness for myself before I get into a relationship. Your next relationship in therapy, did you feel like it was paying off, or was it like the career was doing better, so you kind of fell back to old habits because the career was being satisfied? So in that next relationship, you know, take us on the timeline from like 23 to like 30. Like, what was the next big relationship? Like, were there any horrible breakup stories out of once you're in therapy and you realize you have a great tool? What do you think the next step was?
I think it's a slow process. I think unless you are completely a psychopath or narcissist where you can't take in the information, every relationship gets better, whether it's a work relationship, a personal relationship, whatever it is. I would say this relationship I'm in now is the healthiest I've ever been, but I had to undo, your formative years, if that's the correct word. I had to undo that. So it took me really until now to be like, oh, I'm a normal person. Like I've been insane for the whole time. Now I got better and better and better. And then I found that the people I dated be better and better and better. And that's just simple math. Like, if I go out with somebody and they're mean to me and I stay with them, well, obviously I'm not in a healthy place. But if I walk away right away, that's what I learned how to do. I learned how to walk away. So every relationship got better and better, but they were horrible relationships. And it wasn't even them. It was me.
What's the worst thing you did to a girl?
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. It was my reaction.
Okay.
I was a rageaholic. I was angry. Everything was affecting me. Parking tickets, driving tickets, car accidents, work. I was just reactive to everything.
Did somebody recommend therapy to you?
No.
You just found it?
I just was
East Coast still, right?
No, I was out here.
You were out here?
Yeah.
There we go. That's a little bit of a
Yeah.
nudge. Like the little hippie vibe definitely pushes us, thankfully, I think, to mental health being like physical health.
Yeah.
Like the doctor.
And like you said, it's more accepted now, but back then, no, it wasn't. I just was like, I need to get help. And also I saw my career slipping away and I was like, hold on a second. It was affecting every part of my life. And that's just like, it's really like an addict. Like when I went to 12-step for Codependence Anonymous, it's like, if you're an alcoholic and you're drinking, well, I can't go to work and I'm this. It started to affect my career, my life. And I was like, man, I came 3,000 miles from Maryland for this.
Right.
I better do something.
That's interesting. That what I love as artists is we have to wear our heart on our sleeves, and especially comedians. That's like wearing every organ on your sleeve. It's not just the heart.
Yeah.
And so I love that maybe being a comedian is what healed you at the same time. I mean, from that early age, getting you into therapy. If you had been like an accountant, I don't think you might have gotten there that quickly.
I tell you, one of the reasons that helped me is anytime I had some dis-ease or discomfort in my life with a relationship, I could immediately go to the Comedy Store. I could go, and I had, 500 friends, just people to be around. And I often say you learn a lot more off stage than you do on stage just by hearing somebody's conversation or talking to somebody. So I think, with the mental health, and not to get too deep, but you have to have peers around you like, yo, I got you. You're good. I'm good. You're good. We're good. Okay. Like,
Did you see people on the circuit that you guys would all sort of support each other?
Oh, we still do today. My one buddy, just Jimmy Fallon, and he was, and I'm pumping him up before he does it, and he's like, this is great. And I mean, we help each other.
I love that you guys pack up as comedians because you're always on the road together. Like you said, you're hyping your guy for Fallon. You're hyping your guy for Fallon. Do you guys talk a lot as adult men about breakups, or is it this? Because I feel like women tend to talk more than men. That could absolutely be a generalization at this point in time where we are in society, at least Western society. What are your experiences with that?
For at least my friend group, we talk about everything because it really does intertwine. So as a comedian, we may even talk about a breakup on stage, right? Not about the person, but we'll make a joke about it. So a lot of times you're in the parking lot at the Comedy Store and you're just talking and you're vacillating in between a joke and you go, wait, did that really happen? Oh yeah, that really happened. I was dating this person, this guy, this girl, and this was really hard for me. So, I remember saying to my friend, I go, hey, man, you deserve more than that. I go, you work hard. You're well-respected in your community. You're an amazing comedian. Whatever you just told me about that, that's not right. And he's like, yeah. So we really, at least my friend group, we kind of hold each other accountable in that way. Not all the time, but yeah, when you're hanging at the Comedy Store and you're in the back and it's, 1 a.m. or 12:30 at night, you're just like, yeah, wait, that's not right. And it really helps each other.
Have you ever found out someone did break up through stand-up? Like one of your buddies was like, wait, when did this happen? Them mentioning on stage
yes,
first.
Because I'll hear somebody talk about a relationship. We're like, oh, I'm glad you're still going out with that person. And then they go, oh, actually, no, I just haven't written new material for that. I'm still doing it.
Wow.
So yeah. But by the way, everything we see on stage is not real. It's not real.
Do you feel like your comedy changed over time as you became a healthier and healthier person?
Yeah, because now when I go on stage, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but if you
No,
like
you
me,
can say
like one of
that.
my favorite jokes is I stop and I go, I don't care if you guys like me. I don't care. I want you to like me. But let me put it this way. I've done 10 years of 12-step and 15 years of therapy. If we don't get along after all the work that I've done on myself, it's you. You're the problem.
You're also forgetting you've done 10 years of therapy, 15 years of 12-step. Is that right?
10 years of 12-step, 15 years of therapy.
And how many years of stand-up?
Yeah, 20.
That's a triple layer cake right there.
Yeah.
That's like 3 doors to walk through.
Yeah.
I am an actor, and I could never imagine the fear that would be involved with being a stand-up comedian. Like, it actually, like, my brain explodes.
None of it matters.
Thinking about it.
We're all going to die.
We're all going to die.
None of it matters.
I totally agree that
What would
none
happen?
of it matters.
What's the worst? You go on stage and you bomb.
In my 30s, all the sayings are true. Like, you care less and less as you get older. But then, do I care less? Because being a stand-up comedian, I immediately start sweating. Like within 30 seconds, there's like a bead of sweat dropping down my underarms.
Tell me what is it?
What is it?
What's the fear behind the fear? What is that? Like, you go up on stage, you bomb. No one laughs. Everybody's throwing tomatoes at you. It's the worst. Then you go home. You're like, all right, whatever.
Maybe it's the vulnerability, because I think that the vulnerability is even more being more vulnerable than an actor. So in a weird way, not to be so meta about it, but breakups are a very vulnerable place to be. And so I always wonder if, when I watch comedians, I'm fascinated by comedians because, like you said, the darkness behind the funny fascinates me. And I think when a comedian gets caught with their pants down, is like a comedian in a breakup or a comedian failing on stage. And so for me, the people that are willing to be the most vulnerable, because to me, an actor's pretty vulnerable, comedian's a whole different level. So then to see a comedian not working on a relationship or being heartbroken, there's something like, I don't know if it gets more vulnerable than a stand-up comedian
But
getting
it's
their
the
heart
same
broken.
vulnerability. Like
There's
if you get
levels,
hurt,
there's
no. But what I
levels.
mean is, it's if you go on stage and you bomb and
Yeah.
you get hurt, or in a relationship and you get hurt, it's just vulnerability. And I would say, again, not to get too meta, but it just jumps back to when you were a kid and not wanting to feel that vulnerability that you did at some point in your life. I would think that has something to do with it.
I absolutely think it's vulnerability. I also think, and I don't know if it's just a girl thing, is that you're conditioned as a kid to think there needs to be at least two people in the household, that like the loneliness or being alone equals lonely. And I think that's something we're undoing as we get older, especially now that there's not as many reasons to get married logistically in society. I think it's, I'm going to be even older figuring out my shit. But in reality, figuring out your shit is not being with another person. Figuring out your shit is figuring out your shit. And that's a one-man show. And so I think that's also the bummer, is like you lost the video game. You got to go back to, level 1 and beat the villains throughout the beginning levels and then get higher, It's like that's the analogy that I make in my mind. So as a comedian and as an actor, we travel a lot. We're full-on gypsies, basically. And so finding that sweet spot again of, who's going to put up with the travel schedule, and it's harder to date someone and get to know someone when you're constantly being pulled. Oh, my God, a comedian on a whole other level because you guys tour all the time. It's not just going to set occasionally for long periods of time. So it's just that idea of, will I find that again? It's hard to find that again with our lifestyles. So I think that's also part of the mix.
And I think you touched on something and you kind of glossed over it. You said being okay alone. And I remember writing in my journal, and I wrote it more than several times, like to recondition myself. I am okay alone. I am okay alone.
Or
like
alone
actually,
is not lonely.
Yeah. Just sitting with that and actually feeling that and going, all right, I'm alone. Like really sitting with that feeling of I'm alone and okay.
And you're alone. I mean, I'm assuming your girlfriend doesn't travel with you constantly, or do you guys travel on the road together?
No,
so
no.
you're in every hotel room.
No.
You're used to, I mean, I can't imagine the hotel points you must build up.
Yeah, no, we spend a lot of time together, but for this relationship, it doesn't matter. Like I won't see her for a week, and it's like, because we're constantly, I mean, when I tell you the amount of memes that I send her on Instagram a day, like it's enough. Like I don't, and so if I don't feel connected to her, I'm still all right, but yeah, you just become okay with sitting in it,
Did you always share your material with every relationship you were in, or do you never share your material?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll share it or not share it. Like with this one specifically, like I got an offer for a brand deal from a car company, and I was like, I don't know what to say. She goes, why don't you just say this? And I go, okay. And then I submit it, and they go, okay. So she actually writes for me certain stuff,
okay.
which I was like, oh, that's amazing. Because the worst, and you'll hear it's kind of like a generic hacky thing, is like if you're a comic and you date somebody that's not funny, you're just like, eh.
Exactly. I would think you'd
Yeah,
have
it's
to.
the worst. So the fact that she's such a good like Tina Fey type writer,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's dope.
Do you think she's going to join you in the car talking to strangers?
No, she doesn't like any of that.
Really?
She can't. She gets so embarrassed.
It's embarrassed
In
just for herself?
Public, which to me brings me so much joy to embarrass her in public.
Of course.
Like
That's what you do.
We were at the grocery store yesterday, and I was like, I said to the guy, I go, I always got to pay for her. Do you think that's right? I don't always pay for her.
Yeah, exactly.
But the guy's like, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, God, it's like I'm like a sugar daddy to her,
Just make her uncomfortable.
Make her uncomfortable. And then I'm cackling. And she's like,
You should get in. Pro tip is my best friend's married to a funny guy, and he has her Facebook login. And so he would log in, and she's a really healthy eater, and he'd be like, guys, I'm really gassy. I'm in Valencia, California. Anybody have a Hooters where I can get some wings? Where's the closest Hooters?
Amazing.
And yeah. And so he pulls some really fun flatulence situations.
well, that's
with
my
her
style of
status
humor.
updates.
I didn't want to say it on here, but that's literally what I do.
You can
to
say
all of it.
flatulence.
No, I'm constantly talking about her diarrhea in public, which it doesn't even happen. That's the truth.
Is
I'm
she
like,
a healthy
excuse me,
eater?
do you know where the diarrhea medicine is? And I'm just pointing. She's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know.
It just comes out of
I'm
me.
just wrong. I can't stop. I have
Well,
problems.
she might be the one for you if she's not leaving yet.
No. She just literally shakes her head. I'm like, yeah, my
The
bad.
bigger the shake, the better the joke.
It is. I'm so bad.
Do you feel like you said, each relationship got better as you learned more? do you have any just wacky, like what's the dumbest thing you ever did in a relationship that if you could like make amends right now, not the most hurtful, but like the dumbest, like, or the silliest, or the just, you can't believe you did it.
I was an angry person.
So none of it's even silly.
No, I was so, I would just be angry at everything. I did door-to-door sales for 20 years, so I was constantly fighting all day, you know? Oh, okay, this is one. I had horrible money issues. Something from my childhood. I mean, horrible. I always in
just
fear.
Couldn't budget or just fear around money?
Just fear. And I remember, and I caught myself, I think I let a girl, I was younger, I let a girl borrow $60 or whatever, and then she gave it back. But essentially, like, we got it out of the ATM, and I wanted the $62.75 for the ATM
The transaction fee.
That's what it was. And then I was like, oh, I need help. That was something what a moron.
You're going to go into a rage machine because of $2.75.
No, not towards her. She was kind. But I was like, oh, okay, I got money issues. And I literally turned to her, I go, oh my God, I have money issues. I go, that went in my mind. I
once had a guy that he was very, very, very well off. That's fine. I'm of the belief that this is an egalitarian society. I actually believe in splitting.
What does that word mean?
Egalitarian means equal.
Okay.
That we should be able to split the first date. You're not going to go, well, you might, being the stranger joke man, you might go pay for strangers' meals, but most of us don't feel obligated to do that. And so why, essentially, a stranger on a first date, are you meant to pay for someone's meal? You split the meal.
Nope.
I believe it's...
You have to pay for makeup and look
true.
what I'm wearing.
That's true. That's a good point.
You pay for everything.
That's a good point.
No, there's so
That's
much
a good
stuff that
point.
society tells you. I need a purse, and I need this, and I need this, and shoes, and a dress, and whatever. Like literally, this is literally the same shirt I'm going to wear to the gym later on.
I've packed a few boys, and the only time I want to be a boy.
Wait, what did you just say? I what?
So the only time I packed many boys.
What does that mean? I packed many?
Like for trips.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that meant.
I packed many boys in suitcases.
I packed many boys. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
The positive for trips.
Right.
And the amount of stuff you need astonishes me. And I'm a pretty low maintenance girl, and I still have all of the isms and the things and the attachments that I have to pack in my
all bullshit.
Suitcase. It is bullshit. But being that I do believe in splitting, so put that on the table. I really do believe in splitting on the first date. After the first date, you can ebb and flow, fine. But first date, it's a stranger situation, no. However, I had a boyfriend for many years that would split coffees with me. And I would get, hey, whenever you can, Venmo me.
Was he rich?
He was, yeah. That's how he was rich.
Hold on. No, that's not.
No. But it was just a funny quirk about him. I'm like, what is that? That they make you split coffees? Like that's fine, but it's not fine. You know, the Libra in me wants to be like, it's fine. But so there you go. The transaction fee, the splitting of the coffee. There are other guys out there that have how it is. We actually haven't talked about this on this podcast. How money awakens you to more parts of yourself. I should say, like how money and breakups seem to go hand in hand, but sometimes you find out more about yourself too, like you're saying, when a frivolous money issue comes up.
Well, but it's not on a deeper level. Money is security.
Absolutely.
If I don't have money, I'm going to die.
Yep.
Like, that's so money really represents.
If you didn't have that $2.75, I'm telling you, man.
But it goes back to that silliness of scarcity.
Yeah.
It's not about the $2.75. There's something wrong with me, It's not about that.
Wait, did she ever know that it bothered you?
No, I stopped myself.
So she never even fully knew it.
Oh, no, I told her, I go, hey, I'm going to tell you something in my insane brain right now. I'm going to tell you what my brain thinks.
How did she react?
I mean, she at that point, so I've been very, very good at being open and vulnerable. So even now with my current girlfriend, I'm like, hey, my insane brain is thinking this right now. I know it's not real.
She probably takes, it's an entertainment factor for her.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the women I've dated, I've been very entertaining. They won't forget that.
Are any of your exes still friends with you?
Yes. Many of them. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Many of them.
So you stopped yourself from the rage quite a bit. It was more of an internal dialogue.
And I would say almost 99 to 100% of them, I can't say my fault or their fault, but a lot of it, I'd see my side of it. Like I wasn't a good person or a nice person or a truthful person all the time or whatever. I was in such angst before. And honestly, this social media has saved me because it gives me something to do. As an actor or an actress,
gives you
you're
purpose,
sitting there waiting.
man.
You're just waiting for somebody to tell you that you're good. I'm good enough. You're going to pick me. Well, now my social media, no, dude, I'm going out. I'll film on the way here and I'll make money today posting before noon. They say self-esteem comes from esteemable acts. An esteemable act is getting up and doing something for yourself for whatever your dreams are.
Well, that's a big theme on this podcast is uncoupling. So much of the breakup is not about, like you said, the other person. It's about ourselves. So it's a very sneaky way of being a self-help podcast. But it's something that I really enjoy talking about because no one wants to talk about the breakups. And that's where the biggest wealth of knowledge comes from.
My breakups were, when I tell you on the ground in a fetal position, crying and shaking, like that's how bad, that's the separation anxiety.
Like, did you develop more hobbies as well? Like, did you find more friends?
At the time, these breakups were so bad for me. Again, nothing to do with the person. It was me. That separation, which comes from childhood stuff, it was the most traumatic. Sitting in the shower, rocking back and forth.
How long would you go through? Because I'm assuming that's like day one after breakup. How long would you go through that process for?
Months and months and months and months, then months and months, and then months. And then now it gets. But even the last one before this girl, we only dated for a few months. I thought maybe this was the one, and it wasn't. It just didn't work out. And I had severe panic attacks after it. But I knew what it was. And I called my mom like, yo, I go, it was a separation.
Still haunting you.
Still separation. Like I was having anxiety and panic in the middle of the day, but I was sitting with it. I'm like, oh, I know exactly what this is. Oh my God, I know. I would get up in the middle of the night. It was almost like a shark, just like I was panic. I would sleep on the couch, sleep on the bed, sleep on the couch, sleep on the bed. Like it was really, really intense, but at least I knew what it was. And I really thought this person was I thought this person could have potentially been somebody. And it wasn't good for me.
I think it's interesting what you said of people say like lean into the pain, welcome the pain. Because if by leaning into the pain, you're acknowledging the pain is there. You say, oh, I know what this is. So the more you fight, what is this? What is this? Why do I feel this way? And you don't let it in. I want to feel better today. I can't accept the sadness.
That's what I did.
Right.
That's why I went to the codependent. That's why I went to the 12-step because I was eating, drinking, this, that, whatever. Like I would just do anything. Drive fast, drive slow. Like I had so much chaos as the wreckage of my relationships because I was just trying to alleviate the pain. Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. But the second that you realized what you were doing and you said, I'm still doing it, but at least I know I'm doing it.
Then I was able to actually stop
it.
And not even do that as much like the last relationship. I didn't do any of that stuff. I went to the gym. I got up. I put little notes around my house. I get sticky notes. You can do this. You can get through this. You got it. Like I did all the things that I learned, all the tools. So that way I didn't have extra wreckage. Does that make sense?
The sticky notes.
Yeah.
The sticky notes.
It's something as silly as I'm driving fast. Why? I'm trying to gain control. You go, wait, that doesn't, getting angry at a random teller because it wasn't fast enough. Mm-hmm. That's just all, in my mind, it was trying to gain a control that was fake.
Aw. I feel like you should write your jokes on a sticky note and give it to them after you've said it.
Right? Yeah.
Incorporate both together.
I really want to start. That's one of the things I'm doing. I'm giving things away now. If
you and your girlfriend get married, I hope all of your exes come up with a really fun monologue together.
That
they can give to your best mate to say at the rehearsal dinner.
All the people I've dated before are very kind. Like, we all have our issues up and down. Everybody's just trying. Everybody's trying their best, unless you're like a complete psychopath, which I don't think I've ever dated like somebody who's that.
They're one of the 15 people out of the 100 million. Yeah. They're rare, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you say the mantra, I'm okay being alone, I'm okay being alone in your journal, what was the bridge? Was there a hobby? Was there a certain aha moment for you that made you okay being alone to walk into your current relationship?
Two things. One, I was relentless with the self-help. There was times I was going to therapy 5 days a week. Like
no.
I'm telling you.
Comedians, man.
It was no game.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
I was in so much pain.
It was your job. I mean, it was your part-time job
I was
every day.
Relentless with this.
Okay.
I mean, it was nonstop. That's one of the blessings and the curse about who I am as a person. Like I shot a video on the way here. Like I am constantly doing what I do. So one of the great things about what I do is like, if you say, okay, we're going to go to Mars, I go, okay. And I'm there, like I'm going, but I may explode on the way. So I think
you cannot say no.
I just
That's
go.
your next step.
No, I just go.
Yeah.
You know,
I get it.
I just go, which is good and bad.
Well, it's maybe part of like FOMO too. You just want to experience whatever was offered to you. Like you want to take the ride. If an opportunity is presented to you that's in the least bit attractive, you're like, yeah, sure.
I want to get to the destination.
You want to get to the destination?
I want to get to the destination.
Okay.
So I think that was one thing, is being relentless with that and the pain. And I think the second thing is I did all the little silly self-help things, the self-help notes. I remember jogging one time and going, I'm okay alone. I'm okay. I remember like all the things I'd read in the book to do, I would just try. All those little things. I remember putting motivational signs on the inside of my car on the dashboard. So I would look down and see it and see it and see it.
So
all the little things, that the
just
dumb
being
things.
relentless. Consistency.
Yeah.
Of just keep
I don't know any
reiterating
different,
it,
which
yeah.
is good and bad, as I said. That's why, like, I think for right now, the woman that I'm dating, she's good at being like, yo, dude, stop that. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Let's watch TV. Let's go
yeah,
for a walk.
Yeah. She's like,
Okay.
put down the phone. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know?
She helps you. Maybe that's one of the reasons that you guys work so well is that she tells you any boundary that you have a hard time keeping on the other side of the pendulum.
Yeah.
She can help you cap it and say, you're there. You're okay.
We went and looked at turtles yesterday. I didn't have my phone with me. That's the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. We went and looked at turtles, Griffith Park.
So lightning round. 1-word answers, 1-sentence answers. First question, when was your first breakup?
3rd grade. Julie and Laura Kopakin, they were twins, and neither of them liked me. And I thought I was dating both of them.
You were in a throuple before? What? Oh. Do you remember your first crush?
Julie and Laura Kopakin.
Identical twins. What is your model relationship?
My mom's relationship with me. Yeah, she's dope. She's amazing.
I'm assuming your girlfriend loves her too.
They're very much alike. They're very smart and kind and are like, they judge me in a hilarious way and they shake their head at me and
They
it's
keep you
amazing.
accountable.
Yeah, sorry, lightning round.
Yeah. What is your go-to breakup movie?
How wonderful life is. Moulin Rouge.
What is your go-to breakup song?
Hip hop, like it gets the aggression out and the beat and the
Beast
boom,
Mode
boom,
on
boom.
Spotify.
Yeah. I mean, I just go to the gymnasium and I say the full word gymnasium and I listen to hip hop.
What is your breakup food?
Tatsu ramen on Melrose and La Brea, and I get double noodles.
Of course. Double the comfort, double the noodles. What is your number one red flag in a relationship or a potential relationship?
I think somebody high intensity, high strung, really high strung about everything.
Okay. What is your number one green flag in a relationship or potential relationship?
Somebody who's self-aware.
And what is a beige flag? I will describe what beige flag is. It is, what is a fun quirk of yours that a partner has communicated they love about you?
My partners say that I have the ability to be self-aware enough to take accountability when I'm wrong.
I would, only in the hour that we've spoken, I would agree with that. And then if you are in a long-term relationship, which you are, what was the moment you knew that she could potentially be the one?
When I first saw her and I was like, wow, this woman is smart. I literally was like lightning. I'm like, whoa, this woman is smarter than me. This is awesome. I can be lazy.
And then to leave us today, what are your words of wisdom, which I feel like you've given a healthy amount of, but what would your words of wisdom be to people going through breakups right now?
I feel like my words of wisdom is what we talked about before, is once you are really okay being alone, whether someone's coming, going, maybe coming, maybe going, but you're totally solid, which I wasn't for many, many years of my life. Once you're really okay with being alone, then you're really okay and ready to date.
That's going to wrap this episode up for UnCoupling. Josh, thank you so much. I think this is the first time we've actually talked about 12-step on this program. So for that, I'm just grateful.
Hey!
Yeah. Tune in next week to UnCoupling and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And also sign up to become an exclusive member on our Patreon account. We'll see you next time. UnCoupling Podcast is produced by Stampede Ventures, Jason R. Ellis, and Holland Roden.